When you're talking to customers, I think it's like really easy to get caught up in like the feature set and like how
Yeah.
it relates to Talkdesk specifically, like the
Yeah.
buttons in the platform and stuff. But can you talk a little bit about why it's so important to kind of understand just the customer's whole world and not just as it relates to your software, but just like all the things that they're going through to ultimately help you, service them better?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you like can't talk about this without talking about the importance of multi-threading. Like I think often once we sell something to a customer, we get very naturally pulled into the details of the product, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, troubleshooting, and you get into sort of like admin relationship management. I spent a lot of my time at Talkdesk and like certainly as part of these like little road tours that I would go on, spending time with decision makers, with senior folks that you know, naturally the conversation is going to be up leveled outside of the like buttons and gadgets within the product. But I mean, at the end of the day, to answer your question, like you can't command share of wallet if you aren't connecting to something that actually matters to the business. You can't really get through hard times either, right? Like I think like moments of failure and conflict they're really tense when you run existing revenue, when you run a customer experience team, but they're also like these really form like relationship formational moments where like when you can get through it with a customer, you like come out more on the same team. And you can't get through those moments if you're not able to connect it back to their business and their problem. And like and this, I mean, this is far more feasible in enterprise than it is in like mid-market and SMB. And I know we'll talk probably more about those other segments, but like with Talk to Us so focused on the enterprise segment, like we had to know enough about their business where we actually felt like it's just like so cheesy, but like we actually felt like they're partners.
Yeah. And people just don't buy software just to buy software, right? It's about driving to business outcomes and business transformation. It's really a means to an end. And yeah, I mean, it's an important lesson that I always am trying to tell myself too at Doc as I'm like a founder building a product and like, look at this cool thing I built. But it's like, no, it's like, here's how it's actually going to help solve these big problems you're facing as a business.
Yeah, although it's tricky though because in some product categories they are just buying software, right? Especially when they're replacing it. So this is a situation that TalkDesk was in where, they'd have some contact center software and they just didn't like it. And they're like, okay, we just want to find the better version of that. So sometimes even in the deal cycle, you never get out of that like feature by feature comparison and you don't get to the goals because sometimes like you don't have to, like if people know what software they want, you just need to be the best software. And that's why if you're not you can get lazy and then you don't have those conversations with customers and you like can't get through the hard times, you can't get through decision maker transitions, and you don't have any connection to anything that actually matters for the company.